We must begin with the key principles about interpreting scriptures.
那我们必须要用正确的解经方式来开始。
Because if we don't, then we start with wrong presuppositions.
如果我们不用正确的解经方式的话，我们开始的时候，我们的前提是错的。
And we will interpret based on what the world or our friends tell us rather than what Scripture says.
我们会按着世界或者是你朋友怎么样告诉你的来了解圣经，而不是看圣经是怎么说的。
So if you turn your notes to page number 2, sorry.
讲义翻到第2页。
Now I won't do the revision, you just read the revision notes yourself, you don't have time.
我没有时间来复习，你自己来读这个讲义当中。
Anyway, if you get the answers right, you will understand the revision.
如果你的答案对了，你就能够明白这复习所说的是什么。
Now, how to interpret scriptures rightly?
怎么样正确来解经？
There are 3 C's.
有3个 C。
We covered this before. The first is context.
第一是上下文。
All right? The second is on page 3. Consistency with clear passages.
第二就是要与其他清楚的经文一致。
All right? Consistency with clear passages.
与其他的清楚的经文要一致。
Number 3.
第三，
Now, if there's any contradiction to biblical theology,
如果与圣经当中的神学有起任何冲突
we
的
should
话，
reject it.
我们就必须拒绝这个
Okay,
观点。
this is always how, whenever we meet difficult passages or arguments over how it should be interpreted,
所以这是我们每次来解释比较困难的经文，或者是一些起争议的经文的时候，
this is what we must apply. Otherwise, you take one verse and then you interpret what you want it to say.
不然的话，你就会拿一些经文，然后就按照你自己的意思来解释。
Now, if we don't
如果我们不用这些原则来解
use
释，
this way,
不用这3个原则，
then the moment someone say, for example, they quote a verse and says, or they quote Bible verses and say, for example, look, these 2 verses, the numbers clearly contradict each other.
举个例子，他们可能引用了两处的经文说，你看这2处的经文，他们的数目上已经起冲突了。
And if you just take those passages and say, oh yes, the Bible has errors.
如果你按着那些他们所引用的经文的话，你就能够说圣经有错误的。
Now, you must look at the context.
那你首先必须要看上下文，
Then you look at other passages that are very clear,
那你就要看其他比较清楚的经文。
where God says that His words has no errors.
但他的话语告诉我们，神的话是没有错误。
And then you look at overall God's character.
然后你再看总的来说，神的属性是怎么样？
Then you say, yes, verses A and A prime seem to have contradiction in numbers, in information.
那你就会说这2节经文似乎有一些表面上的错误。
Then when you go through and you know God says He preserves His word,
当你接着其他的经文，你知道神说他保守他的话语，
you know God is a God that is perfect.
那你知道神是完美的神。
Then even if you cannot derive from the context,
甚至如果你不能从上下文当中来理解这些经文，
you will conclude that God's word have no errors.
那你的总结是神的话语是不会有错。
Rather than just look at these 2 and say, yes, God's word have errors.
与其看这2节经文说，那神的话语就是有错。
Okay, I establish this principle.
所以这个原则我们必须要先成立。
If we know God says very clearly, don't even look at alcoholic wine.
但神说你不可观看含酒精的饮料。
Proverbs 23:31.
箴言23章31节。
Proverbs 20 verse 1. Wine is a mocker. Wine is raging.
箴言书20章第1节，酒能使人泄满。
Proverbs 23:32.
23、32节。
God describes alcoholic wine as poison.
神用毒来描述含酒精的。
Then whenever you are not sure, you
所以每
say, this part seems to say that we can drink.
所以当你不清楚的时候，这节经文似乎告诉我们可以喝酒。
What do you do?
那你该怎么做呢？
Go back to the clear, consistent theologies
所以你就要回去这个一致的神学上来解释，
and answer from there.
然后从神学上来解释这节经文。
Last thing I want to say,
那最后一个我要说的，
it is very dangerous and very sad
那非常危险也非常可悲的是，
when a Christian starts with the presupposition that what someone else or someone else does is correct,
那当基督徒开始用人家所做的事情为前提来认为这是正确的，
and although you know that the Bible have already made a particular thing clear,
当你也知道圣经在某一处已经对某一件事情很清楚的陈明了，
if our presupposition is not the Bible has already made it clear, and therefore, even if the person sounds right, his interpretation sounds logical,
那即便圣经已经清楚了，但是你却认为其他的人的推理是非常逻辑的，
I must still, or put it this way, even if at this point I do not understand how to answer the person,
那甚至举个例子，你现在可能不晓得怎么样来回应那个人，
I must not move in my heart.
但我心里面不可摇动。
Things that are clear, I'm fixed on that. Well, this passage I cannot understand, I cannot explain at this point,
那清楚的教义我已经确定了，但某些经文我可能不清楚。
but I know there is definitely an answer that will be consistent with overall theology.
但我知道有一个答案肯定是会与其他的神学一致的，
It must be like that for the Christian.
所以对一个信徒来说，这应该是我们怎么样解经。
If not, over time you will shift.
否则的话，过了一段时间你就会摇动。
People say God did not preserve His word, and they show you verses after verses that shows contradiction.
啊，人家开始说神没有保守他的话语，然后他们也用了很多经文来告诉你，看这些经文都起冲突。
Your thinking must, I already know God says He preserved.
但你的思想应该是神已经告诉我，他
This
的保守他的话语。
contradiction I cannot explain,
这种起冲突的地方，我可能不能解释。
but I will go and find answers to prove these points, to prove what is written in the Bible,
那我就会去找答案来证明在圣经里头所记载的，
rather than
而不是
keep asking, yeah, they sound correct, they sound correct, they sound correct, they sound correct.
一直问这些人说的很像是正确的，
We must start at the right presupposition at the right place.
所以我们必须要在正确的地方开始我们的讨论，我们的前提。
Right? That must be clear. So after you use this principle, when I ask you to answer questions.
所以等一下问大家问题的时候，你要用这些原则来回答。
Okay. So before we go into your Q&A, many people submitted questions. That's good.
所以还没有到这个常见问题之前呢，
There is another thing that we must establish.
还有一件事情我们必须
Now
要成立的。
Turn to page 3.
第3页，
What is considered alcoholic drink?
什么叫做含酒精的饮料？
What is considered alcoholic food?
含酒精的食品，
There are definitions.
什么定义？是什么定义？
We take, for example, the Australian standards.
我们来举个例子，用澳大利亚国家
Page
标准
3.
第3页。
Now, they expect that all manufacturers must make a statement of alcohol content.
所以政府要求每一个厂商必须要标明他们的酒精度数。
Any food that has more than 1.15% alcohol by volume, you must state that it contains that much.
所以酒精度数超过1.15%的食品必须要标明你的食物有这么多的酒精，
That's for food.
那是食品。
For drinks,
饮料呢
the？same.
同样的，
1.15, an alcoholic beverage that contains 1.15% or less alcohol by volume, or a beverage that contains not less than 0.5% but not more than 1.5% alcohol by volume, you must state also.
所以酒精度数在1.15%或以下的酒精饮料，或者是度数不少过0.5%，但超过在1.15%之下的饮料，你必须要陈明这里有酒精。
In other words, only when the food and the drink is 0.5%, is below 0.5% alcohol by volume, then you can not state anything.
所以只有当你的饮料或食品的酒精度数少过0.5%的话，那你可以不用陈明。
Item 2.
第2点，
Now it says restriction on representing alcohol as low alcoholic drink.
这里呢是提到关于低酒精成分的标签规范。
Now if you make an alcoholic beverage that contains more than 1.15% by volume, alcohol volume, you cannot represent it as low alcohol beverage.
所以，如果你的产品酒精度数超过1.5%的酒精，那你就不能够标签为低酒精饮料。
Understand that, huh?
明白吗？
Then the next one. Now, you cannot label something as non-intoxicating if it contains more than 0.5% alcohol by volume.
那如果你的产品酒精度数超过0.05%，那你不能够标签为不含酒精成分。
And you cannot label it as non-intoxicating or similar kind of ideas.
那也不能够标签为不令人醺醉或等类的字眼。
Now, why do I quote this?
为什么我要引用这些？
Now, even people of the world,
甚至世界上的人，
they know that any food or drink that has alcohol by volume above a certain percentage is intoxicating.
他们都知道，无论是饮料或食品，他们的酒精度数若超过一定数目的话，它就能使人醺醉。
So to them, anything more than 0.5, more than especially 1.15, they know it has intoxicating effects.
所以他们知道0.5%到1.15%的饮料是能够使人醺醉的。
They do not want you to drink those things and then drive and then kill someone or kill yourself.
所以他们不要你喝了这些饮料，然后去驾驶，然后撞死人。
So they acknowledge that things above this is dangerous.
所以他们都承认，超过这个数目的酒精度数是非常危险的。
Page 4.
第4页，
Now I took some sample numbers.
这里有一些的例子。
Now by and large, different websites give different numbers, but roughly in the same range. All right. So please don't quote this and say, Pastor, your data are wrong. Your data are wrong.
大致上呢，在网页上他们的度数可能有稍微一些的不一样，但是你们不要说牧师引用的数目错了。
Now light beer, 2.5% ABV, alcohol by volume.
所以淡啤酒酒精度数是大约2.5%，
They call it light.
2.5%是淡的啤酒。
But you know what the Australian government says? Anything more than 1.15%, you cannot consider as low alcoholic beverage. Huh?
但是国家的标准是什么？超过1.5%的饮料，你不能够标签为低酒精
So
饮料。
please don't think light means, oh, no problems.
所以不要认为淡的啤酒就是没问题的。
Right? Mid-strength beer and so on, all there.
所以中强啤酒还有酒，红酒。
Okay. So wine typically up to like maybe about 15% generally.
那酒呢，大约是15%酒精度
Hard
数。
liquor,
烈酒，
generally above 15%. They will
超过
consider as liquor,
所以超
typically.
过15%就是烈酒了。
Okay, now look at what the government defines as drunk.
那我们看政府怎么样规定什么叫做醉酒状
Now
态。
this I take from the police, WA police government website.
这是在西澳的警局部的网页下载的。
So any alcohol, I just quote directly, any alcohol at all will affect your ability to drive. They say any alcohol, as long as you have alcohol, it will affect your ability to drive.
所以他们说，任何酒精成分都会影响你的驾驶能力。
Christians who say, I drink a bit, I am not drunk.
那有些基督徒说，我喝一点我不会醉。
I want you to pay attention.
那我要你注意这些。
Christians who say, I'm not drunk.
那些说我不会醉酒
I
的
can
基督
drink
徒
little bit. I'm not, don't consider me as drunk.
我喝一点，你不要说我醉酒。
The Bible says only if I'm drunk, don't drink to drunkenness.
他们说，圣经说不要喝到醉酒。
But do you know what the world defined as intoxicated?
但你知道世界上的人怎么样定义什么叫做醉酒？
0.05% blood alcohol volume.
0.05或以上的酒精度数，
You
在
do your
血
breath test.
你去测验一下，
Above this, you're considered drunk.
超过这个数目，你就已经算是醉酒了。
So Christians who drink 1 cup, 2 cups, 3 cups, I'm not drunk.
有些基督徒说喝一杯、2杯、3杯，我还没有醉酒。
You are, by definition, even by unbelievers, drunk.
对非信徒来的定义来说，你已经醉酒了。
Now, the next one,
下一个，
point number 2, B2. If you are a novice driver,
如果你是新
and so
手
on
司
and
机
so on.
或
Now,
者是其他的，
now it says, and if you are driving taxi,
如果你是
you're a taxi
开
driver,
德士的，
you are small charter vehicle, you drive for many people in the vehicle.
小型的出租车就是你有载人的，
If you carry dangerous goods
或者载一些危险货物，
or over a certain weight of your vehicle,
或者是车辆重超过
what is the
某个数，
legal limit?
法律的限制是什么？
The legal limit in the world is 0%.
世界的规定是没有是0%，
This is called what?
这是叫什么呢？
It's called total
这
abstinence.
个叫做滴酒不沾的规定。
Does the world expect total abstinence?
世界上的人会不会要求滴酒不沾呢？
Please know the world does.
要知道，世界的人都能够承
It is
认，
Christian that do not.
是基督徒不愿意承认。
The world, this is Australia. It's the same. I check in the US, it's the same. You operate any heavy vehicles, 0%.
所以这是澳洲的规定，美国也是一样，0%的酒精
Zero tolerance.
是不能够通融。
Recently, Singapore Airlines announced
最近呢，新加坡的航空也宣布，
they will randomly check their pilots.
他们会不时会检查他们的这个飞机师，
They expect total abstinence. Anyone has taken any alcohol, straight away fined and jailed, I think. Or after how many times fined and jailed?
飞机师如果被查到喝酒的话呢，罚款并且要进监牢。
Now, when God says do not drink, do not touch alcohol,
所以当神说不要喝酒，不要碰酒，
God knows, like even our government say, any alcohol at all will affect your abilities.
所以政府都说了，任何的酒精成分都会影响你的能力，
It will affect your soberness and clarity of thinking.
会影响你的思考能力。
The world knows any alcohol at all.
所以世界上的人都知道，任何的酒精成
Anything
分，
more than 0.5% in food, drinks, or in blood alcohol volume 0.05%, you are drunk.
所以0.05%以上的酒精成分，你已经是醉酒的状态了。
That's why it says kings, princes, you cannot drink
所以圣经说，君王不可喝酒，
because you are making judgments.
因为你需要做判断，
Even the slightest will affect your clarity of thinking.
甚至一点点的酒精都会影响你的思考能力。
But it is not just for them.
不只是给这些做
It's
君
for
王做领
any
袖的。
person who now Christians, you're constantly needing to live a life of testimony.
那我们做基督徒，我们每一个时刻都要为主做见
The
证。
slightest tipsiness,
那些
slightest,
犯小罪的人，
you will find that you may say things that you shouldn't say,
你会知道你会说一些你不该说的话。
behave in certain way that is going to bring shame to God's name.
那些行为上，可能你会知道你会羞辱
In
神
your heart, think of things that you should not think of.
那些你在心里面你会想你不该想什么东西。
Fathers must practice total abstinence
做父亲的必须要滴酒不沾，
because you're constantly needing to take care of your family.
因为你一直都要照顾你的家
You，are the king and the prince at home.
你是家里面的君王。
Your mind must be constantly clear in every decision all the time.
你的脑海必须要时时都是清醒的。
I just want to say,
我要说这一句，
the world has far higher stringent expectations than Christians who say we can drink and we are not drunk.
世界上的人的标准是超过那些说我们可以喝酒的基督徒的标准。
Now, the world knows that certain amount cause drunkenness.
So
Whether you feel it or not, they classify you as medically drunk.
所以世界上的人说某个程度的酒精度数你是醉酒，无论你感觉得到没有。
So actually, you still can do many things,
那实际上你可以做很多的东西，
but the moment they ask you to walk straight,
但他叫你走直线的时候
you，cannot.
你是走不
There
到
are
的。
certain things that you cannot do.
所以某些事情你是做不到的。
Once your blood alcohol volume is above 0.05, you are medically drunk.
所以你的酒精度数超过0.05%，那你在医学上来说，你已经是醉酒了。
Definitely biblically drunk.
肯定在根据圣经的标准，你肯
Right?
定是
We
醉酒。
established that.
所以呢，我们必须要先成立这
Okay,
些
so I'm 5 minutes behind time.
超过5分钟的。
I'll start your questions now.
现在开始你们的问题，
Now, I have disappointing news.
有一些要大家
I have disappointing news.
一些大家不想听的信息。
I know last week I promised that you all can answer questions.
我上个星期说你们可以回答问题，
But I'm sorry to disappoint you.
但是今天我要大家失望，
because there are so many questions.
因为太多问题要回
I
答
have no time to let you answer.
没有时间让你们回答，
All right, I'm so sorry. So I will have to answer very fast.
所以我也很快的回答这些
I
问
want to
题，
try and cover as many of your questions as possible.
尝试回答各种各样的问题，
Maybe some I might ask you.
有些可能会问大家。
All right, so I still got to work. Now, I categorize your questions that came in.
所以你把你们的问题我都已经归类了。
Questions about Bible verses, what do they mean?
关于一些经文的疑问，
Contemporary beverages,
现今的饮料，
kombucha,
康普茶，
that kind. Then, this is the most questions. Alcoholic wine used for cooking food or used in food.
最热门的就是煮东西的时候放料酒，
This one also quite popular.
还有一个是医疗上的酒
Medicinal
精，
products, drinking for health reasons,
然后一些是为了健康缘故喝酒，
personal convictions.
还有是个人的信念。
Okay, and what about social gatherings?
That's
Can I
it.
go to pubs, bars to eat?
所以去酒吧社交聚会可以吗？
Okay, so I will answer very fast because many questions.
我也很快的回答，因为太多问题了，
So you have to pay close attention.
所以大家要留意听。
Now, first area, Bible verses.
经文的问题。
Now, so one person asks, what is the new wine in Acts 2:13? Shall we turn to Acts 2:13?
所以《使徒行传》2章13节的新酒是什么酒？
All right?
我们翻到《使徒行传》2章13节。
I know someone would ask this question.
我知道有人一定会问这一道问题，
That's why I didn't explain last week.
所以上星期我没回答。
Now, Acts 2:13, shall we read together? 1, 2, reading in English and Chinese together. 1, 2, reading. Others mocking said, these men are full of new wine. All right, so here are the apostles speaking in tongues.
所以这里呢，使徒们说方言，
The people said, look, all these people, they are drunk, full of new wine.
那他说，你看这些人都是被新酒灌满的，
So the person asked, what is new wine?
所以人就问这新酒是什么酒？
Now the fact that the people say, look, they mock at them, they're like drunk. So then new wine must be something that intoxicates.
所以这里人说有人讥笑他们，所以这新酒应该是会令人醺醉的。
Now this word new wine is not oinos.
那这里的新酒不是 oinos，
God is very clear.
神很清楚，
He didn't even want to use the word oinos.
他没有用 oinos 这个字，
This word is glucose.
这里
Glucose.
的字叫做 glucose，
All right. So this word is glucose.
所以这个新酒
Now
是
this
glucose。
is where we get our English word glucose.
那这是我们的这个所谓的葡萄糖，
Is glucose sweet? Glucose is sweet.
葡萄糖会甜吗？
So this word new wine is glucose.
所以这个新酒是从
It
glucose
would
上来的
definitely not be alcoholic wine. It's definitely not alcoholic wine.
那肯定不是含酒精的酒。
The reason why alcohol has alcohol
那为什么它会有酒精的？
is because the sugar is fermented and there's no more sugar.
因为这个
turn into-
糖已经发酵，
turn
已经
into
变
alcohol.
变成了酒精，
That's why it's alcoholic.
所以才成为酒。
So when it is sweet, there's no more sugar in it.
所以如果是
When there's sweet means it is not fermented.
如果是甜的话呢，那就是还没发酵。
So in fact, this would mean they are grape juice, sweet.
如果是甜的
Or some
话，
other sweet
就是葡萄汁或者是其他的果汁。
So then why do the people say that?
那为什么这些人会说新酒呢？
Now, in fact, this verse proves very clearly that the Christians then they practiced total abstinence.
啊，这节经文就告诉我们，当时候的信徒他们滴酒不沾，
The obedient believers,
他们都是顺服主，
they practiced total abstinence.
他们都滴酒不沾。
And remember, this is moving just from Old Testament to New Testament, right?
记得这一段时间呢，是刚从旧约。
So in a sense, these are the Old Testament believers, Apostle Peter and so on. They were the Old Testament believers moving into the New Testament.
所以他们都是旧约的信徒，现在进入新约。
They had a reputation that they drink only glucose.
所以他们有一个名声，就是他们只喝葡萄汁。
The people knew they practiced total abstinence. They do not touch alcoholic oinos. That's why they would use the word glucose.
所以人家都知道他们是只喝着 glucose 葡萄汁，不用 oinos。
So what do they mean?
所以是什么意思呢？
When I was working,
当我工作的时候，
and now I only drink water at work.
我在公司里面，我只是喝水罢
I don't
了，
like to drink Coca, all the sweet drinks.
我不喜欢喝那些
So I'm very
甜的
famous.
饮料，
I'm very famous.
所以我都很著名的。
So sometimes my colleague make fun of me.
所以有时候我的同事会嘲笑
If I make a mistake in some things,
如果我在任何事情上我犯错了，
they'll say Joseph is drunk on water.
他们说这个Joseph喝水喝醉了，
What do they mean?
什么意思呢？
It's their way of making fun of me.
是他们怎么样来取笑我？
He drinks so much water until he's drunk.
他喝太多酒，喝到他灌满，
This is what they're saying.
所以这也是这群人所说
They
的
were
话。
mocking these people
他们是在嘲笑这群
because
人，
there's no way you can get drunk on glucose.
因为 glucose 是不可能使人醺醉，
So these people, they were mocking them.
所以这一群人呢，他们其实是在嘲笑
Verse
他们。
15, let's read together.
那第15节我们同声来念。
Acts 2:15, reading. For these are not drunken, as ye suppose, seeing it is but the 3rd hour of the day. Now Peter stood up and said, these ones of us who are speaking in tongues, we are not drunk.
所以彼得站起来说：“我们这些说方言的人，他们不是喝醉酒，
It is only 9 a.m.
只是早上9点钟罢
What is
了。
Peter answering? ”
所以彼得在回答什么呢？
He was also mocking back at them.
彼得也回应他们的嘲
You
笑。
make fun of me.
你们嘲笑我们，
It's only 9 a.m.
他就问他们说：“现在早上9点钟，
Even if I drank a lot of, even if I could be drunk on glucose,
如果我能够喝葡萄汁喝到醉的话，
which I cannot,
是不可能的事。
it's only 9 a.m.
如果能够喝醉，现在是早上
How
9点。
much glucose could I have drunk by now?
如果我要喝多少的葡萄汁才
Do
会？
you understand the mocking that is going back and forth?
所以你看见这里的一个，他们彼此嘲笑。
Because this word is glucose. It's not possible to get drunk on it.
所以这个字是 glucose 是不可能喝醉的。
All right? So I answered that.
所以我就回答了
In
这
fact, I
道
want to say again,
那
the fact that they mocked them to be glucose drinkers,
这里呢，他们嘲笑他们是喝新酒喝醉的。
they openly acknowledge these people do not touch alcoholic oinos. They don't even use that word.
他
Oinos.
们是公然的承认这一群信徒是不喝酒的，喝含有酒精的酒。
Okay? Now, next one.
下一题，
Leviticus 23:17.
利未记
So the person asked, they were commanded to bring bread that were made with leaven.
23章17节。
So then can the drink mean fermented drink?
所以这里呢，百姓受吩咐要用酵
Alright,
做
let's turn to
面饼。
Leviticus 23 verse 17.
利未记是23章17节。
Okay, Leviticus 23:17. Now, in the Bible, are there occasions where leavened bread was used for offering?
在圣经里有没有人曾经用曾发酵过的面饼来献祭？
There's one here and one in chapter 7 also.
这里是一处，另外一处是在第7章里头。
So, can this drink, since they offer leavened bread, could they have offered fermented drink?
所以既然他们已经能够献发酵过的面饼，那可不可以献发酵过的葡萄汁？
Now, the answer is no.
答案是不可以，
Because now these offerings were made, these were thanks offerings,
这些是感恩祭、
peace offerings
平安祭，
added with thanksgivings.
就是存感恩的心来献的平安。
Now, in these cases, in chapter 7, Leviticus chapter 7, it was also leavened bread.
在第7章里头所提到的也是发酵过的面饼。
It cannot be leavened drinks. Now, God made that exception. That's all we know.
这里神只是给一个例外，这是我们所知道的。
But these were, in a sense, these were definitely given to the priest to eat.
这肯定是给这些做祭司
The leavened
的
bread
吃的，那些已经发酵过的面饼。
Leviticus chapter 7, please,
利未记第7章
verse 14.
14节，
Now, the same thing.
同样的，
These were leavened cakes, leavened bread.
所以这是发酵过的面饼。
In verse 13,
13节，
same with thanksgiving of his peace offerings.
这里要用有酵的饼和回
So
感
these
谢
are exception offerings.
对这些的祭物都是例外的祭物。
Now, but look at verse 14.
当你看第14
And
节，
of it he shall offer one out of the whole oblation for an heave offering unto the Lord, and it shall be the priest that sprinkleth the blood of the peace offerings.
所以这里呢提到的就是他们献完祭之后，是祭司要用牲畜的血来献。
After that, it is for the priest to eat.
之后呢，也让祭司去食用。
So the priest will eat this leavened bread.
所以祭司会去吃这个
So
发酵过的饼。
For this kind of offering, could the drink mean fermented drink also?
那这种的祭物可不可以献上这个水的时候是献上有
It
发
cannot.
酵过的饮料呢？不可能，
Because the priests were forbidden to drink any fermented drinks.
因为神禁止祭司喝任何发酵过
All
的
right,
饮料。
answered. Answered.
回答这题。
So no, the drink, just because the bread is offered as leaven, the drink is also fermented, cannot be, because the priest will take of it after that.
所以这里说到面饼是发酵的，这个葡萄汁是不是发酵呢？不可能的。
Now, but remember
因为
this
知道
very
他们要喝
important point.
那这里有一点要大家注意的，
When it comes to fermented alcoholic drinks,
那当我们谈到含酒精的饮料，
God forbids,
神禁止，
God forbids, don't even look.
不要观看，
Handwriting is terrible. All right, God forbids.
神禁止，
God call it it mocks.
神说他会使人
It's
喜欢
raging. He forbids it.
他禁止，
He calls it poison.
他说这是毒，
And this is is given as you can not touch alcoholic wine, and alcoholic wine is defined as this in God's eyes.
所以在神眼中的那些含酒精的饮料神是这么样的描述，
At no time you can drink it.
所以任何时候都不可喝。
But when it comes to leaven,
但谈到酵的时候，
God never say you can never ever eat leaven, like you can never ever drink wine. God did not say you can never ever eat leaven.
神没有说你不可吃有酵的食品，
He used it in the sacrifices to teach the concept of sin.
他在祭物当中用这个无酵饼是要教导他们关于罪的课题。
Leaven by itself, God said you can eat. But when you offer, I need to teach you about sin. Don't use leaven. That is the purpose.
所以酵是可以吃的，但是你献祭的时候你不可吃酵，这是我要教导你一些课题。
So you cannot compare these two.
所以不能够用有酵的面饼和酒来做比较。
Now, next. Oh, okay, next. Oh, so good I can erase. Now, the next question.
下一题，
Numbers 18 clearly said, the best wine offered to me, and I told you it was Tirosh.
那在这里呢，说到了最好的酒是 Tirosh，
But why in Numbers 28, God said offer strong drink? Why don't he just say best drink? Why don't he just say Tirosh?
那为什么在民数记28章7节是说纯酒，而不是新酒或最好的酒？
Why God now here want to use Shekah?
为什么在这里呢？神要用 Shika？
Why？
为什么呢？
If best wine is Tirosh, then why God wants Shekah?
如果最好的酒是 Tirosh， 为什么神用 Shika？
Because God wants.
神就这么样决定。
So at some place God say, this offering you bring Tirosh, which is grapes, grape juice.
所以某些经文神说，这个祭物你要带 Tirosh， 就是葡萄汁的意思。
Certain offering I want Shekah.
有一些祭物我要你带 Shika。
Remember, Shekah can be alcoholic, non-alcoholic.
要知道 Shika 可以是有酒精或没有酒精的。
Now, why is Shekah strong drink?
那为什么 Shika 被称为
Okay,
纯酒、
quiz.
浓酒？
Who remember what's the difference between Yayin and Shekah, the non-alcoholic kind?
那谁记得雅印跟 Shika 的差别在哪里？
Anyone?
谁记得这区别？
Yayin is grapes, very good.
雅印是葡萄酒、葡
Shika？
萄汁
Non-grapes.
，Shika 是除葡萄以外的
All right,
果
can be palm,
可以是
apples,
葡萄、
what else? Dates,
藻类
barley.
或者是麦类。
Okay, so God says, sometimes I want grapes,
所以神说，有的时候我要葡萄汁，
sometimes I want this kind of offering.
那有的时候我要另外一种的果子，
That's all.
这就是神所说的。
Now, why do the King James translator translate as strong drink?
那为什么英文清译本翻译成浓酒？
So some ask, it's very confusing. Strong drink, right? Sounds like, oh, strong drink, like today.
今天人家说看的时候好像是喝 能够喝醉人的那个烈酒。
Today when we say strong drink, the only thing we think about, wow, XO
今天讲到的浓酒就是那些烈酒，
or martini. Wow, a lot of alcohol, sake.
很多这些含高成分酒精的酒。
We cannot think that just because today people say strong drink means all this strong alcoholic drink means that it's what it means in the Bible.
所以我们不能用今天人家怎么样理解烈酒或浓酒来理解圣经里头的浓酒。
Now, shikar, this kind, for example, actually I went to check, like they have something called date honey.
那在西卡这个不含酒精的那种果汁呢
Or many of you cook, you know that palm sugar.
你们有用过这个黑糖还有
All right. Now, these are much stronger tasting than grape juice.
那这些糖呢是比葡萄汁还来得更加强烈。
In fact, these are often very thick, syrupy kind of liquid.
所以那一种的糖呢是非常黏的那一种液体。
So unlike grape juice, these are much stronger in texture, in taste.
所以葡萄汁比较淡，但比起这一些呢，这些比较浓。
In fact, we get the word sugar from shikar,
所以我们英文字的这个糖就是从西卡来的，
saccharin from shikar.
都是从西卡这个字来的。
It's all this sweet stuff, much sweeter, very sweet.
是那些非常甜的糖浆。
So are the King James translator wrong to use strong drink?
所以英文钦定本用浓酒有错吗？
Now you drink grape juice
你喝葡萄汁的时候，
and you take a scoop of liquid honey.
当你再拿一汤匙的蜜糖来吃，
Which one is a lot stronger on your taste bud?
哪一个的味道比较
The
强？
very thick honey, right?
当然是比较
It's strong.
浓的蜜糖。
So their English is perfect, understand?
所以他们的英文是完美的。
So don't think strong drink means what they serve all these things is strong drink in bars.
所以不要想到纯酒、浓酒就是他们在酒吧卖的烈
It's
酒，
a kind.
也是不同的酒。
Now next. I'm behind time. Okay, question number 5.
第5题，
Now some disciples put some wine mixed with water to clear the impurities and bacteria.
那有些的门徒他们放一些酒在水里面来杀菌。
Can you
消毒
explain what Greek or Hebrew word that is?
所以这里的希腊文或希伯来
So
文
you
是哪
say
个字？
this kind of drink with alcohol added in to clean the water. What does the Bible call this?
所以那些放过酒精的那些水是什么酒？
So for example, like Timothy, Paul tell him, take a little wine for thy stomach's sake.
所以就如保罗告诉提摩太，喝点酒，为了你健康你肚子的缘故。
Okay, the drinks that believers can drink,
所以那些信徒可以喝的
that
饮料
especially the Apostle Paul will say, go drink.
特别是保罗会说你去吃。
Now
你去
that
喝
definitely cannot be intoxicating.
那种的饮料肯定不是有酒精的。
This word is oinos.
这个字呢是
No doubt.
oinos。
It could be, if those people are correct, that people add the alcohol and clean the water.
那可能他们放一些酒精来杀菌，杀水里面的菌。
Even that kind, it will be so low in alcoholic content.
甚至那一种的水呢是在酒精程度上非常低的。
Today, for example, we say 0.5%, right?
今天我们说0.5%，
It would definitely be not more than that. So it would be 1 to 10 parts, maybe.
那可能不超过0.5%，可能更少0.1。
Right? If that is what they use, it will be so low.
所以这是他们当时候用的，所以是非常低的。
But that word used is oinos.
所以那里用的词呢是 oinos。
Now, the more we understand oinos is like yayin, right? It's the equivalent of yayin.
所以 oinos 就跟雅印是同一个意思，
Hebrew word and Greek word.
所以是希腊文跟希伯来文差别。
Now, Paul could have also said, now go drink some oinos, referring to grape juice.
那保罗也可以说，你去喝一点 oinos，就是喝
Don't
一点葡萄汁，
just drink plain water. Take some grape juice.
不要只是喝白开水，喝一点葡萄汁。
Now you heard of. Now grape juice I also discovered when I read some of the websites. Now grape juice is known to have good effects for your stomach.
那我读了一些网页，他们说葡萄汁对你的消化、肠胃很好。
I see some mothers like that.
一些母亲说是的，是的。
You heard of this? Is it Welch? Welch grape juice, very famous, very popular.
这个牌子的葡萄
100%.
汁，
Right?
100%
Now,
的葡萄。
then I read many mother magazines.
那很多
mothering magazines.
母亲的杂志，
Mothers always say, your children's stomach problem, give them Welsh grape juice.
如果你孩子肠胃不好，喝葡萄汁。
So it's just that.
所以
Paul could never have asked Timothy to drink anything that is intoxicating because he keep telling Timothy, you go and find pastors that do not come near wine.
所以因为保罗告诉提摩太，你去找牧师的时候，要找那一些不接近酒的人做牧师。
Paul is training Timothy as the younger pastor.
所以保罗这里在训练提摩太做一个年轻的牧者。
Paul could not have one moment tell him one thing and contradict himself. Hey, just go and drink some. You get drunk, never mind.
所以保罗不可能一方面叫他不要喝，但另外一方面叫他去喝醉酒。
Okay, so next. Did Christ drink vinegar? Christ drank vinegar wine on the cross, right?
那基督在十字架上不是喝着用酒做的醋吗？
Is it true?
是否是真
The
的？
Bible is very accurate.
圣经非常的准确。
Two different kinds of drinks were offered to Christ.
在十字架上，人家给基督喝了2种的饮
Now
料，
we got no time, you just copy down.
你就抄下来就可以了。
Mark 15:23.
马可福音15章23节
All，right, Mark 15:23.
马可福音15章23节。
Here, Christ was offered the Bible. The Greek word is oinos.
在那里呢，他们给基督喝的是 oinos。
When the soldiers offered oinos,
当这些士兵给他喝 oinos 的时候，
Christ spat it out.
基督不喝，
Why do you think so?
为什么呢？
Because he is a total abstinence person.
因为他是滴酒不沾的人，
He knows he knows God's command. He came to fulfill all righteousness. He spat it out.
所以他知道他来到世上是要尽诸般的义，所以他不喝那些酒。
All right, but in John 19:29,
但在约翰福音19章29节，
he was given oxos,
人家给他 oxos 喝，
vinegar.
是醋，
One is wine, the other one is vinegar.
一个是酒，另外一个是醋。
Vinegar, he took it.
是醋的话，他就喝了。
Know that.
所以你要知道，
Christ would not have drunk wine.
所以基督不喝酒。
By the way, you know vinegar is non-alcoholic. Huh?
那你知道醋是没有酒精的，
Vinegar is after they've gotten rid of all the alcohol is gone, so it turns into vinegar.
所以所有的酒精已经消失了，所以才变成。
So actually back then, now the Roman soldiers, how to draw Roman soldier, I don't know, Roman soldiers,
罗马的士兵
they wear skirt, I think, at that time, right? Those things. So now, they have two kinds of drink.
他们有2种的饮料，
When they're on duty,
他们在任职的时候，
they drink oxos.
他们就喝醋。
It's a very refreshing, strong, invigorating vinegar drink.
所以是一个能够使他们复兴他们的精神的那种醋的
The。generals provide that they're never allowed to touch any oinos. They have another one, oinos.
他们不可以喝着有酒精的
Because
oinos，
they must be constantly sober.
因为他们要常常都能够清醒。
So they have two kinds of drinks. That's why they gave Christ both kinds.
因为他们有2种的饮料，所以他给基督2种的饮料。
All right, so that's answered.
所以回答了这一道问题。
Now, so someone asked, does Proverbs 31:7, listen to Proverbs 31:7.
翻到箴言书31章，
I take some time to answer Bible questions, especially because it's very important.
花多些的时间来回答这些圣经的问题。
Proverbs 31:7.
31章7节，
Now, so someone asked,
有些人就问
well, 6 and 7. Let's read 6 and 7 together.
第6、第7节，
Give strong drink unto him that is ready to perish, and wine unto those that be of heavy hearts. Let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his misery no more. You see, the Bible tells you that those that are going to die, those that are very heavy-hearted, those that are broken-hearted, those that are sad, let them drink wine.
圣经说那些要死的人、将死的人，或者那些伤心的人，让他们喝酒。
All right? Verse 6 says, give some more, give them, and then let them drink in verse 7.
第6节把浓酒给他们喝，让他们给他们喝。
Look at the context.
但你要看上下文说什么。
Verse 4 and 5, let's read together.
第4到第5节。
It is not for kings, O Lemuel, it is not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes strong drink, lest they drink and forget the law, and pervert the judgment of any of the afflicted. Now here God is saying, or rather, the wisdom given to King Lemuel.
所以赐给利木以勒的利木以勒
Now
王
listen how it is phrased.
看他怎么样说。
It is not for kings. Imagine like a mother talking to a child.
所以
It is not for kings.
母亲跟孩子说：“君王喝酒不相宜。
Oh, Lemuel. ”
他说：“利莫以勒啊，
It is not for kings.
不是给君王喝的。
So it's like pleading, reminding.
这里是要提醒他、警告他，
Not princes to drink strong drink.
也不是给王子喝的浓酒。
Now, lest they drink and then they are not clear and they pervert judgment.
所以他恐怕他们喝了就忘记律例。
This is the context. This is the person saying, "You are a king. Oh, Lemuel, you are a king.
所以他说：“你是一个君王，
You cannot drink.
你不能喝酒。
Those that are dying, those that are broken-hearted, these people they want to drink.
那些要死的人，那些苦心的人，他们想喝酒的话，
These are people that are in your nation.
那些都是你国中的这些百姓，
No, they don't know better.
他们不知道、不清
You
楚，
need to rule them.
但你却要统治
You
他
need to
们，
take care of them.
你必须要照顾他们。
Now, if you also drink like they drink,
如果你像他们一样喝酒的话，
they are sad, they want to drink.
他们伤心，他们喝酒，
Yeah, let them drink.
让他们喝吧。
He's not saying let them drink means good. He say, but you cannot drink.
他不是说喝了他们就是正
You
确的
cannot stop them, but you cannot drink.
如果你不能够禁止他
Do
们，
you
你
understand?
你自己不能喝。
It is a plea. It's not saying let them drink, let them. It's say they are like that one. Like people say they are like that.
他们就是
But you
这样的人。
cannot be like that.
但是你却不可以这样子做，
So you must read it in context.
所以你必须要看上下文说什么。
So that's context, right? What's the second C?
第二个原则是什么呢？
Consistent with other parts of scriptures, the clear parts.
所以其他清楚的经文要一致。
I give you the verse, James 5:13. Let's turn there.
雅各书5章13节，
When the Christian is sad, broken-hearted,
灰心丧胆的时候
do what?
做什么呢？
Go drink?
去喝酒吗？
James 5:13.
5章13节，
Let's read together.
我们一起来念。
Is there any among you afflicted? Let him drink. My Bible is different from yours? Same as yours, right? Let him pray. Let him pray, not drink.
所以你们有受苦的就该祷告，不是喝酒。
So the clear must interpret the unclear.
所以不清楚的，清楚的要解释。
It is sarcasm. They are like that. How can you be like that?
所以这是讽刺他们，他们是这样子，你怎么可以像他们一样？
All right. So the Christians, when afflicted, actually many books that I read, pastors that are advocating this drinking,
那些
moderate drinking,
提倡适量喝酒的牧师，
they have the cheek to write. You know, after a long Sunday, I cannot relax. You know, I also cannot. I always end up sleeping at 5 a.m.
那一整天主日之后，他不能够放松下来，
So I always need something. It relaxes me and help me to sleep.
所以我要吃些东西让我能够放松，然后让我睡觉。
That is what pastors do.
所以牧师是这么讲的：
When you cannot sleep, when you're afflicted, when you're stressed, do what?
你伤心、你有压力的时候，你该做什么呢？
The Bible says pray, not go drink.
圣经说去祷告，不是去喝酒。
All right, so I hope I answered that.
希望我已经回答这个问题。
No, it is not telling you to drink. It's telling you don't do that.
不是叫你去喝酒，是告诉你不。
Yes, sometimes wine is given to those that are dying. Today we do the same. We give morphine to those that are in severe pain, right?
那的确，今天我们也给那些要去世的人，也给他们吃这个麻醉
Okay.
麻醉药。
Now, next one. Okay, I've 10 questions, so I'm 5 minutes over already. Did God bless with wine on the lees?
那神不是有赐福用酒糟或陈酒来
You know what is wine on the lees?
知道什么是陈酒吗？
Okay. Anyone surname Lee? Now, so let's read here.
以赛亚书25章6
And
节。
in this, let's read together. And in this mountain shall the Lord of hosts make unto all people a feast of fat things, a feast of wines on the lees, of fat things full of marrow, of wines on the lees, well refined. Okay? So it said, now God says that I will make a feast of fat things.
这里神说我要赐给他们用陈酒，用满水来
And a
的肥
feast
甘，
of wines, and these wines are wines on the lees.
还有陈酒来摆设宴席。
Let's say again, wines on the lees, well refined.
那这里呢是说的陈酒。
So the person said, now wine on the lees have to be intoxicating.
那人说这个陈酒一定是 能够使人醉的。
Because, okay, explain to you. Now, that's why always start with presupposition, right?
所以要有正确的前提开始。
If God says don't drink intoxicating wine,
当神说不要喝能使人醺醉的酒，
then can wine on the lees means intoxicating?
那陈酒可不可以是会令人醺醉的呢？
Can it mean not intoxicating?
还是不能令人醺醉的？
Always start from there.
从哪里
So,
开始呢？
what are wine on the lees?
陈酒是什么意思？
Now, when they press the grapes, they put them in container and it turn into grape juice.
所以他们挤压这些葡萄汁的时候，
Now, when they do all the pressing, there will be sediments,
所以
right?
在
They sink to the bottom.
榨取葡萄汁之后呢，底下会有沉淀的这些残渣。
Now, these sediments, this thing that come from the grape, from part of the skin and the seed and all that, they are called lees.
那些剩下的就是叫酒糟。
All right? How do people make wine? Yes. So, in other words, so to people, wine on the lees means these things in there. How do they make wine? Is they leave these lees in them.
那他们怎么样酿酒呢？就是里面有这些酒渣。
Now, when these lees are in them, over time, it causes this to ferment.
当把葡萄汁放进去之后，它们就会发酵的。
Okay, this will cause the juice to ferment.
那这些酒渣会使那个葡萄汁发酵，
So it will turn into wine, alcoholic wine.
所以就会变成了有酒精的酒。
Okay? Now, people like to drink wine on the lees. Today you go to website, they talk about wine on the lees, and they like to drink wine on the lees.
那今天很多人喜欢喝这酒糟里面的酒，
In the sense of, the longer you leave this inside, actually the reason why they leave them inside is it give it very strong flavor.
他们把这些酒糟放在这些葡萄汁里面是要给他们有味道，
The lees give the flavor.
因为那些酒糟能够使他们有味道。
So they say if wine on the lees it has to be fermented, it has to be intoxicating.
所以他们说陈酒就是酒糟里面的酒，应该是会使人醺醉的。
But if you read a bit more,
但如果你读多一点的话，
lees simply means the sediments.
所以这个酒渣的意思就是那些剩下来的。
When people make grape juice,
当人家榨取葡萄汁的时候，
they will also leave the lees inside for a while.
他们也会把这残渣放在酒糟里面一段
Because
时间，
lees give them stronger flavor.
因为那些酒渣能够给他们味道。
But if you cross a certain time,
但如果你超过一段时间之
all
后，
right? I don't know how to draw. Now, if you leave it too long,
如果你放太久的话，
if you leave it too long, now it will begin to ferment.
它就会开始发酵。
So time is very important.
所以时间是非常关键的。
At certain point, they must filter
过了一段时间，他们必须要过滤，
to another tank.
过滤到另外一个
Now,
水缸里。
Same for wine.
红酒也是一样，
They must keep filtering also.
他们也必须一直的来过滤。
Okay, so they filter, they want the strongest. So it depends on time. Whether it is a drink that is on the lees that is non-alcoholic, there can be also drinks that are on the lees that are left longer, then they turn alcoholic.
所以就看时间的长久，一个是可以有酒精，一个是没有酒精的。
So you read winemakers today, they talk about the same thing.
所以你去问今天的酿酒的工厂，他们也会说一样的话。
Alright, so wine on the lees does not mean always alcoholic wine.
所以陈酒不一定是有酒精的酒。
Now, in fact, what does God view wine on the lees?
神怎么样看这酒糟里面的酒？
God just say here, very good, I give you a feast of that.
神说这里25章说很好，我用这陈酒来摆设宴席。
But in other places,
但其他的地方呢，
God criticizes wine on the lees.
神却批评那些酒在残渣上的。
Now, this is well refined, huh?
那里陈酒是澄清的，
So, this has to be non-intoxicating juice. They filter, and they got the flavor, but it's well refined. They filtered it many times, preventing fermentation, leave long, filter many times. The flavor is very good. So it's well filtered.
所以那里所说的陈酒是澄清，是他们一直的过滤，味道可是澄清的，
No alcohol.
没有酒精的，
Well filtered. All right?
是澄清的酒。
Now, you understand not so far? Now, only one person nodded. Look at other parts when God talked about wine on the lees.
那其他的经文神提到关于
Moab, in Jeremiah 48:11, Moab have been at ease from his youth. By the way, the Chinese speaking people, you have all this on your notes, the English do not have. So you follow along.
所以中文讲义上面已经有那些题目还有经文，所以你可以跟着你的讲义。
Now, Moab have been at ease from his youth, and he has settled on his lees. And he says, and have not been emptied from vessel to vessel. And he says, therefore his taste remain, and his scent is not changed. Now, God is saying Moab is no use.
那这里神说摩亚是无用的人，
He said, Moab, you are the kind of drink
他说摩亚你是那一种饮料，
that when the lees are in you,
当酒渣在你里头的时候，
you settle on your lees.
你在你的酒渣上澄清，
There was no filtering.
就是没有过滤的意思。
When no filtering take longer, what happens to it?
没有过滤的话，久的时间之后
It became alcoholic
就成了有酒精的饮料。
wine. He said, you did not filter yourself, you became alcoholic wine, you're useless.
所以你没有过滤自己，所以你成了有酒精的饮料，所以你是无用的。
Another one,
下一节，
Zephaniah. And it came to pass that at the time I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their lees.
所以这里惩罚那些在酒残渣上澄清的，
Those that do not get filtered.
那些没有经过过滤的，
In other words, those that turn alcoholic,
就是那些成为酒精的酒，
I punish.
我要惩罚他们，
I say they're useless.
他们是无用的。
Right? So there are wine on the lees that God commend, those that are filtered at the right time.
所以有些陈酒神赞许，
There are wine on the lees that have turned alcoholic, God says, I don't like.
那些发酵过有酒精的陈酒神说我不
So
喜欢。
even in God's eyes, there are wine on the lees, there are the non-alcoholic and there are the alcoholic. Understand?
所以在这个陈酒也有两种，一个是有酒精，一个没酒精。
Okay? Okay. I really hope you understand because this is an important question. You submit really very solid questions. Now, next one. Okay, last two questions for Bible. I'm way behind time. Now, Proverbs 23:31 does not forbid all Christians to drink alcoholic wine. It only forbids those who have tendency to have problems with it.
所以箴言书这里的经文23章31节没有禁止所有的基督徒，只禁止那些不能够控制自己的。
Okay, let's turn to Proverbs 23.
箴言23章
Is Proverbs 23 for all Christians or only those that have problems with wine?
是23章是给那些所有基督徒呢，还是那些不善于喝酒的人？
All right, so always use context, correct?
上下文是吗？
What does the context say?
上下文说什么呢？
Now let's look at verse 26
26节
to 32.
到32节。
Now let's read together. My son, give me thine heart, and let thine eyes observe my ways. For whore is deep ditch, and a strange woman is a narrow pit. She also lieth in wait as for a prey, and increaseth the transgressors among men. Who hath woe? Who hath sorrow? Who hath contentions? Who hath babblings? Who hath wounds without cause? Who hath redness of eyes? They that tarry long at wine, they that go to seek mixed wine. Look thou upon the wine when it is red, when it giveth his color in the cup, when it moveth itself aright. At last it biteth like a serpent, and stingeth like an adder. Now if you read this,
如果你看这段经文，
it is, to me, reading it naturally is very clear.
你顺着自然的去读，很清楚。
Look at verse 29.
29节，
God asks a question.
神问了一个问题：
Who are the kind of people that have all these kind of problems in life?
哪一个人在生命当中有这些问题？
Which kind of people have this kind of problems?
谁会有这些问题呢？
Verse 30 tells us, drinkers.
那些喝酒的人，
People who drink intoxicating wine, they have all this kind of result in their lives.
那些连喝酒的人就会有这些问题。
Now, therefore, verse 31,
所以31节，
in order not to have any of this in your life,
所以不要有这些问题的话呢，
don't even look at alcoholic drinks.
你根本都不该看酒。
Because if you don't, you won't have these problems.
如果你不这么做的话，你就会有这些问题。
Now, if you do,
那如果你光看的话，
whether you are someone who likes wine or don't like wine,
无论你是喜欢喝酒或不喜欢喝酒，
just know one thing.
那你知道一件事，
Verse 32,
32
at last,
终究
it will bite you.
它会咬你
It will sting you.
刺。
In other words, at last, verse 29 will happen in your life.
所以29节呢，29节的事情就会发生在你身上。
This cannot be read as, well, verse 31, who should not look at wine? Oh, those people that have all these problems.
不该这样子读，说31节只是给那些有问题的人。
Now, God is saying, who have this kind of problems? Drinkers.
神说，谁有这些问题是那些喝酒的人。
If you don't want to have sin, don't even start with sin.
所以你不要犯罪的话，你就不该用罪开始。
All right, so this is for all Christians.
所以这是给所有基督徒的。
How do we know? Verse 26.
26
It
节，
says, it's addressed to my son.
他是向儿子说的。
My son.
他说我儿
It's
子
not addressed to drinkers, it's addressed to a believer.
不是向喝酒的人说的，是向一个信徒说的。
Then he says there are strange women.
然后他说有这些外女。
Now, are you saying that if you have no problems with strange women, then go and flirt with this woman?
是不是说你没有外女的话，你可以去调戏那些其他女人？
Or is God saying, don't go near this kind of women, even if you don't have problem, because sooner or later you'll be entrapped?
还是神说你不要靠近这些女人，就算你没有问题的话。
So, you cannot interpret this as, oh, only those have problem, God is saying don't drink.
你不能够这样子解释说只有那些对酒有问题的，那他们才。
Then you say only those who have lust for women, then don't go near this woman.
神是不是也说那些不能够控制情欲的，你就不该靠近女人？
You will not be able to resist for long.
神说你不能够控制的酒。
Which wife?
哪一个妻子？
Husband say, I'm not interested in all these women.
我不喜欢，我对其他女人没兴趣。那些做丈夫的这么说。
So they all come to my office. When I go on business trip, they come to my room.
那他们可以来我的办公室，我去出差的时候。
When I'm eating, they come and join me at my dinner, and then they dress all low cut and very seductively.
他们也穿着也不检点，跟我一起吃饭。
But I have no problem with this kind.
但是这种女人，我是不会上当的。
What would you say, wife?
做妻子的你会说什么呢？
Don't go near. I know what will happen next. Sooner or later, you fall.
你不要靠近这些女人，因为你会跌倒。
All right. So number 10,
第10题，
God prohibited strong alcoholic drink. Oh, actually, I answered this already. So grape juice, yes.
OK， 这是葡萄汁。
And even if it's any kind of things that added, it must be to the point where it is not considered an alcoholic beverage.
所以它是加到那种不是有酒精的酒。
It must be like today, less than 0.5, for example.
举个例子，像今天0.05%以下的。
Now I want to say why one of the problem with saying they add alcoholic wine to clean water and they drunk. There's one danger that we must not fall into.
那当我们说人家把酒放在水里面来消毒的时候，你持走这个立场有一个危险。
What is that danger?
什么危险呢？
Then we can say that they added till it was 5%.
可能加到5%。
Well, the water here very dirty, so add until 5%.
这里的水很肮脏，你加多一点。
They are not allowed to drink things that intoxicates, full stop.
他们不该喝能使他醺醉的酒。
Even if they added, it would have been less than whatever it is, but they would know that it has absolutely no effect.
就算他们加进去的话，他们也知道它不会使他醉酒。
Okay, wow, finally, new topic, and I'm 20 minutes over. Okay, quickly, what about all these drinks? Kombucha.
这里所列下来的饮料怎么办呢？
You find out the answer yourself.
找到答案吗？
Because I already showed you, anything more than 0.5% alcohol by volume
那些超过0.5%的酒精度数，
it is intoxicating. The doctors already calculated for you. More than this is intoxicating.
超过这个数目就是会使你醉酒的。
All right? So bitters can be very, very high.
这里所提的这个苦味酒
In Australia, anything that's called cider is alcoholic.
在澳洲呢，所有叫cider 的都是有酒精。
In America, certain places, ciders are simply juices.
那在美国有些地方那些都是果汁，
So you have to ask, you have to find out.
所以你必须要查出来。
Cruises, I think, quite high also, but you check all this.
这些你自己
Right? So these were given to me. So you just check. Now, kombucha.
那康普茶呢？
Kombucha is basically fermenting some things and then they produce the drink, right?
这些都是发酵过的饮料。
Now, the company very clearly say we produce things that are less than 0.5% alcoholic by volume.
公司很清楚声明说，我们的产品都是少过0.5%的，
So they are non-alcoholic in definition.
所以他们是没有酒精的饮料。
But it's becoming so popular
那现在太著名了，
that now they are producing those that are higher than 0.5%.
那现在他们所出产的产品也有超过0.5%的。
For people who want to get the alcoholic kick and the health.
那些要有酒精的，
So you ask me kombucha, I ask you which type.
如果康普茶哪一种？
And I want to say another thing.
我要讲的另外一点，
Now, this is no different from eating kefir. Is it spelled kefir? Kefir, right? Some people make at home yourself.
那今天有些人在家里面做这个叫做 kefir 的这个发酵的东西，
It's fermenting.
也是发酵的东西。
You let it ferment beyond a certain time and certain condition, it turns fizzy and it becomes alcoholic.
你发酵过久的话，也成为有酒精的。
But at the right condition, below this amount, there's nothing wrong.
如果少过这个数目，那没问题。
The point is drinking intoxicating drinks.
问题是喝那些会醉酒的。
Now, but I also want to qualify.
那我也要澄清一件事，
It is kind of like a fashionable thing
这是人家现在的流行，
to want to drink something that look alcoholic with people who are drinking alcohol.
就是要喝一些饮料，看起来是有酒精，像和那些喝酒的一样的样子。
Now, I think a Christian can drink all this,
我想基督徒可以喝这一些，
but not drink it because it make you look like you are very in the crowd and you're also drinking alcoholic things and give that impression.
但是你喝这些东西不是因为要让自己看起来很像和那些喝酒的人一样，
That becomes an attitude problem.
那是你态度的问题。
All right, so I just want to qualify.
我要澄清。
Singapore sling, quite high, I think. Quite high alcohol content, I think. All right, so you just need to find out. Screwdriver also, very high. So find out yourself.
自己去查出它酒
Yay,
精成分
finished. Now, next one. Okay, so don't say can, cannot, because I know you want to trick me. Kombucha can or not, huh? Kombucha can or not? Which kind?
所以你要问哪可不可以？
Cider can or not?
可不可以？那你要问哪一种？
Which kind? So you read the label yourself. If it's a considered alcoholic beverage, you should not drink.
如果是已经是含酒精的饮料，那你就不该喝了。
That's why this kombucha company, they do not have to put alcoholic intoxicating drink because they are below, way below that.
所以这康普茶的公司就不需要放这个标签。
Now, can I cook with alcoholic wine? Okay, this is the part.
可不可以用料酒煮饭？
How far am I behind time? Let me check. Now, so can I cook with wine? So many of you give me this whole long list of wine.
那你们给我一系列的这些料酒，
Rice wine, wow, very high.
米酒呢很高，
South Sing wine, also quite high. This, from what I checked, some Sharon go and look at the bottles and all that to tell me. All
绍兴
right,
酒也是很高的酒精成分，
all right. So mirin, this amount.
米林酒。
Now, Fuzhou, wow, this one the most question. Pictures also sent to me.
福州红酒面线
All right, quite high.
很高的酒精成分，
Now, this they have the residue also.
还有这个红糟可不
It's
可
the
以？
lees, understand? It's the lees.
红
Okay.
糟也没有酒精。
Then balsamic vinegar,
意大利黑醋呢
very low.
很低。
Okay, so now, so these are all the wine that you like to use for cooking.
这是你煮饭的时候喜欢放的料酒，
Can or not?
可以用吗？
You can. Let's look at cooking, all right? I'm not talking about drinking when you cook.
所以我们看看煮饭的时候是怎么样子。
So the person asks, can I eat foods cooked with alcoholic wine?
我能不能够吃那些用酒煮过的食
So
物？
they say chicken, fish soup, then they add 1-2 tablespoons of wine after cooking.
所以煮了之后加一些酒进
There's a
去。
difference between before and after cooking.
煮之前饭跟煮之后饭有
We look
有差别。
afterwards. So chili mussels, pasta, and all this, whole long list.
所以这里所列下来的
This one also many questions.
tiramisu，
Yeah, someone say, I must know now, I must know now. I say, I'll tell you next week. Okay? So since then, I don't know whether the person has been eating. Or maybe the person, wow, eat as much as possible before next week. All right, so many of this, all right? So, how?
怎么办呢？这些
Sweet lips. Now, I show you some calculations.
给你一些算术，
And you have to understand.
你必须明白。
I qualify. The numbers I give you are approximate.
这里所给的只是大概数据，
But I checked with many websites, pretty much around there.
查了一些网页，大概都是这样子的数。
So don't say your numbers are not exactly 0.2 right now.
不
Okay?
要说你的数目有差别。
I try to think how to explain to you, so I draw drawings.
所以我想怎么样解释，画了一个图片。
Now, if you cook, so pretend there's meat in here.
所以里面放了一片肉，
So you put, for example, 1 tablespoon of wine.
放了1汤匙的酒，
1 tablespoon is about 50 milliliter. I also check.
1汤匙大概是15毫升。
And I assume you use a bottle of wine that is 15% alcohol by volume.
所以假设你用15%的酒精度数的酒，
All right? So I check like stir-fry chicken.
所以我查的你煮炒这个鸡肉，
All right? So typically people put maybe like about half a cup of water,
人家通常放半杯水，
roughly about that amount, 1 to 5 milliliter of water. Then there's stock as well.
所以然后还加了水或者是加了汤底，
So now you have all this liquid inside here.
所以里面有了这些液体，
So how much alcohol is in there?
剩下有多少的酒精？
Now, just at the beginning, haven't turned on fire.
所以还没开火之前，
This is about, this liquid in here has about 1.6% of alcohol in the total volume here.
所以整个液体当中有1.68%的酒精度数。
Okay? All right? So this liquid now is 1.6% alcohol by volume.
所以按照体积来说呢，1.68%的酒精。
Now, from several websites, and then someone asked me a question, provide me the data also. I look, same as my data.
有些人给我了一些资料，跟我找的是一样的。
Now, by and large, 15 minutes of cooking on the fire.
所以15分钟烹饪之后，
Now, 40% of this 1.6 will be left behind.
1.68%的40%会剩下。
So you turn on fire for 15 minutes.
所以开火煮了15分钟，
How much alcohol left in this solution?
所以剩下的酒精有多少？
So 40% of 1.6, I get about 0.6 ABV.
所以大约是0.68%的酒精。
15 minutes of cooking.
15分钟煮了15分钟之后，
All right. Then of course on the way you add some more water. Sometimes you add stock and you throw the meat inside. The meat inside also have water, right?
所以你煮了之后，里面会出一些液体，或者你加了一些水，
So in reality, it will be less than this.
所以实际上会少
Correct.
过那个数。
Okay. So if you cook for 15 minutes,
所以你煮了15
so
分
you
钟，
now, so this is what is in the liquid that you're eating.
那这是你所吃的，你吃的时候的这个酒。
If with all the stock and everything, if it's less than 0.6%, you cannot get intoxicated
所以少过0.68%的你不能够醉酒，
because medically they also calculate less than 0.5% in the solution, you do not get intoxicated. You do not need to declare that this is intoxicating drink.
所以少过这个数目的你不需要声明这是有酒精会醺醉的饮料。
So if you cook like that at home,
如果你在家里面这样子煮饭的话
but，if you add after cooking,
当你煮了之后再放，
that's a different matter, huh?
那是不一样的。
Because you don't have this fire going and this evaporation going on.
因为之后你就没有开火烹调。
So if you drink all that XO fish sauce, XO fish soup,
如果你是喝的那些放了 XO 酒的，
if they are the kind that after you cook, wow, few teaspoon in for you,
那些是你煮完之后他们放了几汤匙的这个烈酒进去，
this does not apply, okay?
那种就不可以。
All right? Then I calculated. Now, for actually pretty much, I think 2 tablespoons of liquor, means those high percentage,
所以2
means like
汤匙的烈
XO,
酒，
is actually equivalent to 1 standard drink.
就等于1杯的酒。
So when the government says 1 standard drink,
当政府说1杯酒，
for XO, this kind of drink, high alcoholic content,
所以那些烈酒，
30 milliliters is equal 1 standard drink.
所以30毫升就已经是一杯酒。
Okay, so you have to know yourself.
所以你自己必须要知道。
So if someone add 1 whole cup into a very small bowl of soup,
那如果人家放了1大汤匙的进去1碗的汤里，
please don't quote this example.
所以不要用这个例子。
If you can, you go calculate yourself.
你能的话你自己算。
All right, so I cannot calculate everything, all right? Just I'm trying to explain to you.
所以我向大家解释。
So I give some more examples.
给其
How much alcohol is left behind?
剩下多少呢？
Depends on your recipe.
看你的食谱。
Approximate figures. Stir fry, 15 minutes later, 0.6%.
炒煮法15分钟后剩下0.68%。
1 hour, like that. After 2.5 hours, nothing left. Pretty much negligible.
给超过1小时、2个小时之后就没有了。
For stews,
炖法
this kind of liquid,
那种的酒精
all
成
right,
分的饮
assume
料，
a 15 ABV bottle,
15%的酒精成分的料酒，
all right? So again, you can do your calculation.
自己算这个。
That's why stews, you need to stew longer.
所以炖的话，你要炖得更久。
Okay, so if yours is higher than these figures, and you invite people to your house, you must label.
如果你的是超过这个数目的话，你必须要标
You should
签。
label. Now, why the government expect that? Because if you do not know and you drink and you go out the road, you do not know.
如果你为什么政府规定要标签？因为你喝了你不知道的话，
You kill yourself or you kill someone.
你可以伤害人家的行
All
为，
right, so it's considered intoxicating.
所以是能够令人醺醉的。
Rum cake, tiramisu, and I don't know,
洋木酒
very high. They are quite high.
很高的酒精
All
成分。
right, one rum cake, 1 rum to 12 servings, one cup of rum to 12, assuming a 12 serving cake.
所以1杯的这个洋木酒，然后做成12人份的
You bake it for 60 minutes.
蛋糕，烘焙的60分钟。
Now, by and large, what websites provide is you are going to have quite a high percentage left behind.
所以你还是有很高成分的酒精。
After 60 minutes of cooking,
烘焙了60
you still
分
have
钟，
25% remaining, and it means 1 slice of rum cake has this ABV in it.
所以一片呢有1.38%的酒
So
精成分，
it's quite high.
所以是很高的酒精成分。
Another point is this. Negligible amounts of alcohol is left behind in cooking.
烹调后剩下的酒精成分是可忽略不计，
Based on the example, have to be careful.
是按着给的一个这个例
So
子，
it depends on that bottle of wine that you use. You use XO,
要看你用的酒
it's different.
多烈的酒。
The amount left behind is much higher.
是如果用 XO 的话，剩下的酒精很高，
How much you put in?
而且你加了多少酒
5 tablespoons,
？5汤匙呢？
half cup.
半
Then
杯
you have
酒
a problem.
那你就有问题了。
So don't ask me, Pastor, okay to cook with wine or not?
所以不要问牧师可不可以用酒煮，
I'm not going to sit there, how many tablespoons? How many cups of water? How much stock? I'm not going to do that.
那我不会问你有放多少的汤匙的酒。
Now you've got to understand the principle and know what is considered intoxicating even by the world standard.
所以你就要看世界的这个规定是什么，
How long you cook, how long you bake,
烹调多久，烘焙多久，
when you put in the wine,
几时放酒进去，
All right, so it's not so simple a question to answer.
所以不是很直接的问题。
Now, but the question to ask is this: Why do you want to cook with wine?
问题就是为什么你一定要用酒来煮？
Why do you want to eat tiramisu?
为什么你要吃提拉米苏？
Bailey's ice cream, quite high content, huh?
那些有些冰淇淋也是有放酒的。
I thought I put in. I didn't. Yeah, it's somewhere. Up here. Now, yeah, Bailey's. I thought I put down the percentage. It's quite high. So, the Bible is against drinking alcoholic beverages.
所以圣经是禁止我们喝有酒精的饮料。
The Bible is against us drinking things that cause us to be intoxicated.
圣经也禁止我们喝那些会使我们醺醉的酒。
It is not about cooking and then it evaporates and you have negligible amount.
所以不是煮了之后剩下一点点的那些酒精。
If you cook it that way,
如果你只按着这个方式煮，
and especially if you take Australia standard, less than 0.5%,
如果你按着澳洲的规定，那是少过0.5%。
then you know you're not drinking intoxicating fish soup.
你就知道你不是喝会使你醺醉的鱼翅汤。
All right, so those are the principles.
所以这些是原则。
But again, ask yourself.
但问自己一个问题：
There are people who don't want to they say, cannot drink. Okay, I shall go eat fish soup, and then ask them put half a bottle in there.
有些人说不能喝酒是吗？可是我去喝这个鱼汤，叫他放半瓶的酒进去。
I'm not drinking wine.
我不是喝酒。
All right, that is not the point. It's desiring the taste, desiring the feeling, the lightheadedness of what alcohol does.
所以那不是那个真正的问题，问题是他们喜欢被酒醺醉的那种感觉。
So that is how I will answer it.
所以这是我会怎么样回答。
Now, so someone asked, actually it's answered afterwards. What about medicinal products? All right, so cooking done.
所以煮饭的
Ken？
是吗？
Very clear? Any questions so far? Because I'm ahead of time. Amazing. Thank God for answering prayers. Any questions so far?
有问题吗？
Really? Okay. Medicinal products.
医疗
Should I take medicinal products that have alcohol in them?
可不可以用那些有酒精的
Example？
医疗药物？
Example, cough medicine.
比如说这个咳嗽药。
Again, it is about the forbidding is drinking alcoholic beverage. That is what it is. The wine as we know today.
神所禁止的是那些喝有酒精的饮料。
If you have a cough and the cough medicine contains, you read the percentage. It's quite high.
如果你是有咳嗽的话，你去看这个药物上的标签，酒精成分是很高的。
If you like to drink cough medicine because you like that feeling that you get, which is the same feeling as drinking alcoholic beverage,
如果你喜欢喝咳嗽药水，因为你能够得到那个喝酒的感觉的话，
then although it is not in a nice bottle, it is in an ugly medicine bottle, you're still drinking what you want to drink to get intoxicated.
虽然瓶子包装不一样，但是你还是喝能够使你醺醉的这些液体。
Okay, so you're taking it for that purpose. Now, afterwards, we'll talk about yomeshu, huh?
养命酒等下再谈，
But cough medicine.
还是先谈咳嗽
Now,
药。
what about products that have alcohol in them?
那一些有酒精成分的产品呢？
Mouthwash, hand sanitizer,
漱口水、净手的消毒液、
perfume.
喷发胶。
Now, some website Listerine has 27%, you know. I
你
need to
这
check.
个漱口药水有26.9%的酒精成分，
So, can we use it?
可以用吗？
Remember par ainos?
记得吗？这个词
Cannot be near alcohol.
不能接近酒，
So, cannot.
所以不可用。
It is for drinking purpose, right?
所以这是
Drinking alcoholic beverage.
喝醉酒的酒。
So, do you drink Listerine?
你会喝下去，把药水喝下去吗？
Why you laugh? People do.
有些人就喝了这个药水，
It's very cheap compared to a bottle of wine.
因为很便宜。
People who are alcoholic, they actually do that.
那些
I didn't know. I read the internet, huh?
想喝酒的人，他们也会喝这种药水，比较便宜。
So, all this medicinal use, external use, the Bible is not talking about those things. It's drinking, intoxicating beverage like they used to, like what people do so now.
所以这里圣经所谈的是那些外敷的那种的药水。
But I also want to qualify, can this trigger relapses for ex-alcoholics?
那这些药物能不能够再次触发那些前酗酒者的酒瘾？
Yes, it can.
它肯定能够。
In fact, some websites, some doctors, they advise, if you are ex-alcoholic and these products, cough medicines, mouthwash, they trigger that emotion, they trigger that relapse, then avoid them.
这些医生也说，如果你有这个酒瘾的话，这些药物、这些产品也会使你触发你的酒瘾。
In fact, I know of a full-time worker, he does not touch cough medicine.
我知道有一个全职服务生，他不碰咳嗽药水。
He used to be addicted to many bad things,
他
bad
之前
drinks.
有很多的这些不好的这些瘾
And cough medicine gives him a lot of trouble.
咳嗽药水给他很多的问题，
Right? So he stay away.
所以他就不碰咳
So
嗽药。
know that the alcohol content in it is dangerous.
所以要知道里头的这个酒精成分，
But know the principles.
要知道这原则是什么。
Okay, I didn't even know. I keep using Listerine. I didn't know that it had alcohol, such high alcohol content.
所以我一直用这个咳嗽药水，可是不知道它的成分这么高。
I think I read somewhere if you use a lot of it for quite a long time, maybe half an hour, you will fail the breath test.
那如果你用太久了，
When I was on the mine site,
Yeah.
I took some Listerine because I used to take that quite regularly.
And you fail the breath
And I
test.
failed the breath test. I was not allowed to work
Right.
until I retook it. And also, if the police do test you, you can fail the breath test.
Correct.
Taking the Listerine.
Yep.
如果你用这个咳嗽药水漱口太长时间的话，你会测试的话，你一定会失败的。
All right. So the Bible is not talking about that.
所以圣经不是说这一种药
In
水，
fact, I think some of us use Listerine more.
像有些人用了很多这种漱口水。
Okay. Next one.
下一个，
Okay. So does total abstinence apply to oral intake? What about product in the body? On the body, the Bible is not talking about things you apply on the body.
所以口服产品还是这是护肤品的，圣经没有说不可以用护肤品。
Before you take an injection, they put alcohol.
你打针之前，他们也放酒精
They。say, I'm total abstinence, you cannot put.
我就说滴酒不沾，我就不能打针。
All right, oral intake have to qualify.
所以口服也要看什么状况
Now, drinking wine for health purposes.
健康的缘故喝酒可以吗？
So here are the questions.
这里是一些问题。
Can I drink alcoholic wine for health purposes, such as to help my cholesterol problems?
可不可以喝一些酒来解决我的胆固醇问题？
Now, cholesterol problems.
胆固醇问题，
There is a lot of people who talk about this,
很多人谈起这个课题，
but you will rarely find a doctor that tell you, oh, you got cholesterol problem, go and drink wine.
很少医生你会找到的医生会告诉你，有胆固醇问题去喝酒吧。
It's usually quite Christians,
他们都是
quite
非常
doctors like us.
是非
We
常
make up our own things.
这是我们自己讲出来的。
Especially if you've never drunk wine, the doctor will never tell you to start drinking.
如果你没有喝过酒，医生不会问你有没有喝酒，
Now,
叫你喝酒，
because they know the effects of wine.
因为他知道酒的效果是什么。
Now, let me explain.
我解释一下，
I have to use drawing. Why do people have that idea?
为什么人会有那种的想法？
There are things in wine
在酒里面
that is claimed to reduce cholesterol problems.
是人家说能够降低这个胆固醇问题，
Now, because of antioxidants in there,
因为在里头有这抗氧化物，
all right, antioxidants.
抗氧化物。
Now, and then there is this other thing which is called resveratrol.
叫做白藜芦醇，
Okay? Resveratrol. Now, these are present in, I think, part of the grape skin and all that.
这些是在这个葡萄的葡萄皮上面。
Now, what this does is actually it reduces your LDL.
所以降低你的这个
The bad
胆固醇
cholesterol
不好的坏的胆固醇，
It prevents blood It prevents artery damages.
也防止这个血管的问题。
All right. So they say yes. Then red wine is good.
所以他们说，红酒是好的。
But what winemakers don't tell you is what cancer centers know.
那这个酿酒厂不会告诉你，就是这个癌症中心知道的事
Turn
情。
to page 22.
你看20，
Oh, turn to the next. You have nothing to turn. I have to turn. Okay.
第8页。
Now the health warnings from, and I checked many websites, government websites,
查了很多的网站，
university websites, cancer research foundation websites.
所以这些政府的网页、大学的网页，还有那些研究所的网页，
Almost consistently, always they will mention, drinking 1 to 2 standard drinks may increase your risk of stomach cancer, bowel cancer, stomach ulcers.
所以他们说每天饮用1-2杯的酒会提高你患上胃癌、肠癌的风险，甚至导致胃溃疡。
Now the World Cancer Research Fund says there is very strong evidence that alcohol increases risk of several types of cancer. The same.
所以这个另外一个就是研究所报道的，就是酒能够提高患上各种癌症。
And it's always known it significantly, exponentially increases a woman's potential of getting breast cancer. Just 1 or 2 cups.
所以1-2杯，每一天1-2杯的酒能够提高妇女得到乳癌的几率。
Same, bowel cancer.
所以肠癌也是一样。
Now, regardless whatever, wine, beer, any kind,
无论是葡萄酒、啤酒、烈酒，
all of them increases risk of cancer.
每一个都能够提高患
Now,
癌
but
的
they
风险。
many sites rightly point out, but yet there is this constant myth that still persists that antioxidants in red wine can help prevent cancer.
但是还有人坚持相信红酒中的抗氧化物能防止癌症。
Now, what I'm trying to say is this.
那我要说的是什么呢？
Yes, it might help your cholesterol,
那是的，能够帮助你的胆固醇，
but the other cancer potentials that increases far outweigh reducing your cholesterol.
导致癌症的那些风险远超过降低你胆固醇的危险。
Exercise,
要运动，
eat better,
吃好一点的食物，
better than drink red wine and increase all these cancer potentials.
好过喝红酒，然后提高你患癌的风险。
Now, in fact, the antioxidant and the resveratrol
这个抗氧化物还有这个白藜芦醇的这个成分，
is found in grapes, in grape juice.
葡萄里面都找得到。
But winemakers want you to think that theirs is better.
但是酿酒厂要让你知道，他们的
The
酒
alcohol in there causes a lot of other. Now, alcohol damages your liver. I have a whole list of things. Damages your liver,
所以这个酒精能够破坏你的这个肝
pancreas, I don't know.
胰脏。
And if doctors will always say, if you're pregnant, do not drink wine.
医生也常说，如果你怀孕，不要喝酒。
So those who want to drink wine to reduce their cholesterol
那些要喝酒降低胆固醇的人呢，
must know that the amount of cancer that potentially can happen in your life far outweighs. Just go drink juice. It's the same thing.
所以那些提高癌症的几率远超过你喝红酒的益处。
Next one. What about medicinal? What relaxes me, enables me to sleep?
那些能够使我放松，然后使我更容易入眠。
You get cancer, sleep faster also.
癌症也是很容易睡觉的。
Right? So Bible says you have all this problem, pray.
可能说你有这些问题就祷告，
This is how you get addicted, in fact.
这是你患上酒瘾的来源。
Now, this one also very common.
这个也是很常见。
Wine commonly used, I don't use it for indulgence.
我不是用来酗
But
酒，
in those very cold countries, people used to keep themselves warm in very cold weather.
但是寒冷天气的人，他们都是用来保暖。
Hey, very cold, you know.
很冷的，
Should we prohibit it?
我们在那个时候应该不应该禁止人家
Wow,
喝
you're
酒
very
呢？
bad, you know. So cold. Pity them.
他们很辛苦的，这么冷，你们为什么不让他们喝酒？
Also prohibit.
也是要禁止他们喝酒吗？
Another one later asked the soldiers last time. They say soldiers when they march, very cold, they also drink.
但是当时候的兵士也是，去打仗，天气寒冷，他们也喝酒，
To keep themselves warm.
是让他们能够身体感觉到
You heard
温
of
暖。
that?
听过这样子的故事吗？
Anyone of you, Perth very cold, winter, drink a bit.
有没有人在博士很冷，然后喝点酒？
Someone actually told me so. Say, Pastor, I know lah, but sometimes winter very cold, so I drink a bit. Then I feel warm.
有些人说，冬天太冷了，喝一点酒感觉温暖。
Medically,
所以医学上，
wine does not keep you warm.
所以医学报道说，酒不能使你保暖。
And I checked a few websites, including the army that do it. They do their own research. Army.
所以查了几个网站，甚至这军事部也做了自己的研究。
One alcoholic drink could make you feel warmer,
一杯酒精饮料能让你感到温暖，
but it actually lowers your core body temperature.
但是降低你核心体温。
Alcohol makes your skin feel warmer,
所以酒精使你皮肤感到温暖，
but the heat wave is deceptive.
但是这股热波是误导人的，
What it does, it causes your blood vessels to dilate,
所以它是使你的血管扩张，
move the warm blood closer to the surface of your skin,
所以导致热血能够流到你接近皮肤的表
making
面
you
上，
feel warm temporarily.
暂时性使你感到温暖。
At the same time, those same veins pumping blood closer to the skin surface cause you to lose core body heat.
所以同时间，这些血脉能够使你失去核心的体温，
And the core body heat is what you need to survive.
所以这个体温是你需要存活的。
If you're stuck, especially like people think, hey, they're very cold, you have to give them. Actually, if you're stuck, it is actually what will lead to fatal hypothermia.
如果你是困在雪堆中，那是更糟糕，使你能够导致致命
You
的
understand what
温
he's saying,
症。
right?
所以你知道他讲什么吗？
So since someone says soldier, I see army website.
所以你讲兵士，我也看了一个兵士的网页，
A study by Army Research Institute of Environmental Medicine,
因为这些
New York Times.
研究报道发现，
Now, he said the primary mechanism by which alcohol exacerbates the fall in core body temperature.
那这个酒精怎么样能够加剧人的核心体温
It reduces your body's ability to shiver.
它怎么样降低你的这个体温？是减低你颤抖的能力。
Now, the body shivering is the way it creates warmth.
所以人体发抖是产生热能的方式。
Did you know that?
所以你知道吗？
This God built-in mechanism, you know,
神所创造的这个智能，
much safer than wine.
比酒还更好。
Now, study reports after a single drink,
所以报道说，一个人喝了一杯酒之
the
后，
body will have brief sensation of warmth caused by increased blood flow to the skin,
所以身体会尝试对皮肤底下的这个血液流动量提升时，
But-
产生暂时性的热觉，
but that decreases your body temperature even further.
这样会加剧体温的下降。
Now, several studies actually show that because people drink alcohol thinking it keeps them warm, it ended up in hypothermia-related injuries
所以很多人以为喝酒能够提高体温，但是却导致他们患上了这个低温症，
and even death.
甚至导致死亡。
Alcohol may make you feel warmer, but its net effect quickly drops the overall body temperature.
所以酒精能使你感到温暖，但是实际上降低你的核心体温。
So, by the time you drink and feel warm and all that, please know, you may be above even what the government qualify as drunk.
所以你喝了之后感觉到温暖的话，你已经喝了超过政府规定的这个醉酒状态。
God does not permit a Christian to be drunk, correct?
所以神不要基督徒醉酒是吗？
Even if you argue, only drunkenness is wrong.
如果你只是说醉酒是错的罢了，
By the time you drink enough to make you feel all this, it's very likely you are classified as drunk.
所以你喝到能够使你感觉到你温暖的时候呢，你已经醉酒了。
Now, I put it this way. People talk about moderate drinking.
人家说适量喝酒是可以的，
Can you drink for 1-2 hours and don't get drunk?
你能不能够喝1-2个小时都不醉酒？
There are guidelines. You drink how many standard drinks? 2 standard drinks in the first hour.
所以有一些规定，就是你喝的前面1小时喝了1-2杯的酒，
1 drink per hour after that.
一个人在1个小时之后再喝1杯酒
Now,。if you go out and then you drive, you probably pass the breath test.
你出去开车，可能你能够通过这个测验。
So people say moderate drinking, okay, I don't get drunk.
人家说适量喝酒是可以啊，我不醉酒。
But no, you are drunk. How to draw drunk? Right, you are drunk.
你醉酒的状态，
Then it dissipates in your body.
然后就散布到你全身，
Then you are not drunk.
然后你就不醉了。
Then you drink some more, then you are drunk.
你再喝多一点，你就醉了。
And then it dissipates, and then you are not drunk.
你又散播了，然后你又不醉了。
That's why God says do not touch, because by definition you touch, your sensibilities will be affected.
所以是为什么神说不要碰？因为你喝了之后，你的触觉
You are
感觉
simply
就不见
getting
了。
in and out of drunkenness. Do you understand what I'm saying?
所以你一直在这种状况，一下子醉酒，一下子不醉酒的状态。
So even if you are against total abstinence, please acknowledge they are moving in and out of drunkenness.
即便你是反对滴酒不沾，但你要知道喝酒的这个状况。
It takes a period before it dissipates. You go out, you drive, then you can pass. But you have been drunk before you were tested.
所以你在喝酒之前，你已经能够通过的话，你之前已经喝过酒了。
Okay, next. Personal conviction.
个人信念，
Last one. Now, the person asks, well, we know that BPC broke from OPC.
我们知道笃信圣经长老会脱离传统长老会。
Now, but how do you explain famous Reformed preachers like Calvin, Luther, Spurgeon who drank?
你怎么解释加尔文、路德、斯布真都喝酒？
Right? So, how do you explain to people total abstinence is a biblical thing, not a BP thing?
你怎么解释这个是圣经的教导，不是 BP 的教导？
Well, first and foremost, we do not follow people, right?
首先，我们不跟随人是吗？
Which part of the armor is that?
哪一个军装部件？
Shirley. First is belt of truth, right?
首先是腰里的
Means what God say is correct is correct.
真理的腰带。神说什么是正确的，就是正确的。
Is it what Calvin says is correct, Luther says is correct, Spurgeon says is correct, then is correct?
还是加尔文说什么，路德说什么，斯布真说什么才是正确的？
Belt of truth.
所以这是真理的腰带。
Calvin says our meal is true.
加尔文说无千禧年论是正确的，
Bible says there is the millennium.
但圣经说有千禧年存在。
Did we follow Calvin?
我们跟着加尔文吗？
Luther believed in consubstantiation.
路德相信同体共同论
Means somehow Christ is also inside the elements,
就是
around the elements.
基督是在这个圣餐的圣饼
Do we
周围，
believe what they believe? Practice what he practiced?
所以我们相信他所教导的吗？
Spurgeon smoked cigars.
斯布真抽烟，
Do we follow him?
我们抽烟吗？
Now, but actually, Spurgeon, towards his end of his, at first he was very against people who were total abstinence.
斯布真从前他是反对人家滴酒，
He drank. He was convinced that every drink in the Bible that is wine is alcoholic.
那他相信圣经里头所有的酒都是有酒精的，
Then over time he realized he was wrong,
所以过后他发现自己错了，
and he became one that promote total abstinence.
他成为一个提倡滴酒不沾
And he
的
made
一
it
个
very
传道
clear
人。
in many writings. The wine that is in the Holy Communion, although those are juice.
所以他在写了很多的文章说，圣餐杯里面的这些液体是葡萄汁，不是酒。
But it doesn't matter if Spurgeon changed his mind.
斯布真改变主意也不在乎。
We go by all the verses we've gone through the last week and this week. All
所以
right.
我们就根据上星期和这星期所谈到的经文
So
所，
that's exactly how we explain to people it is not a BP thing.
所以这是我们怎么样解释，这不是 BP 的
We don't
教导。
follow anyone.
我们不跟人，
We've never mentioned Carl McIntyre last week and this week, right?
我们上星期
the
这里
founder
都没有提到这个麦金泰这个人，
We don't follow
就是
people.
BP 教会的创办人。
Now, so belt of truth, that's it.
所以真理的腰带，
And breastplate of righteousness, we just obey the Lord's word.
所以这个公义的护心镜就是顺服神的话语。
Okay, so that's how you explain. We are not following people, it's in the Bible.
所以不是跟着人，我们是跟着圣经。
So we don't follow these people, even though they say it's fine to drink.
所以我们不跟从这种人，虽然他们说可以喝酒。
Now, some say that as long as it's not drinking, but it's cooking, or for health issues, it is totally fine. Don't be dogmatic.
所以现在只要不要喝酒就可以了。烹调因健康问题喝酒是可以的，不要太固执己见。
We already said, the Bible is not talking about cooking with wine.
所以圣经我们说了，圣经不是说用酒烹调，
But if you make your wine pretty much like wine, your soup like wine,
你把你的汤变成酒的时候，
that is what is wrong.
所以这是错的时候。
Okay? So yes, it's not about cooking.
所以不是煮饭。
I want to emphasize this.
但我要强调一点，
I'm afraid some people, they do not accept total abstinence because they think what we are saying is cooking is also prohibited to be done with wine.
所以有些人不接受第9不沾，因为他们认为煮饭加酒也是神所禁止。
We do not, all right?
对，我们没有，
Because of the calculation I showed you.
因为我刚才算的这个数据，
But if you go outside those percentages,
如果你超过这些数据的话，
then you have to know that you are purposely doing to get the intoxicating feeling.
那你就知道你是故
That
意
is wrong.
要得到这个酗酒的
But
感觉。
also, if you choose not to cook with wine at all,
但如果你选择不用料酒来煮饭的话，
that is your personal choice.
那是你自己的选择。
But you cannot say that it is sinful
那你不能够说是犯罪的。
if it falls below those percentages
如果是少过那些数据
for cooking.
烹调的话，
Can or not?
明白吗？
Otherwise, people will say, oh, one molecule also cannot.
不然人家会说呢，一个一滴都不可以。
By the way, if that's the case, you cannot eat grapes.
那样子的话，你不能吃葡萄的，
You cannot drink grape juice.
不能喝葡萄汁啊。
Because grape juice, from some websites show, there is about almost 0.9 gram of alcohol.
在葡萄汁里面呢，有0.9克的，
10 grams of alcohol is one standard drink.
所以10克的这个酒精是一杯酒的。
Now, if you say that it must be 0 molecule,
如果你说要
0%,
一点酒精都没有的话，
just by grapes itself. Now, almost a lot of things has alcohol.
那有些东西里头都有酒精存在。
Our body produce alcohol. That's what I read.
我们身体也有酒
So
精，
you must get rid of your body.
所以身体也要除去吗？
Apple juice, 0.7%.
所以
0.7%.
0.78葡萄
Alright.
苹果汁，
Orange juice, 0.7%.
橙汁只有0.78，
White bread, wheat bread, 0.2%.
面包呢0.28，
French sweet milk rolls, 1.2%.
法国的这个糕点
Yep. I mean grams, all right? Grams, not percent. Grams.
不是8千
0.7 gram.
克，
All right? A ripe pear
这个熟的这个
also have some alcohol, some fermentation, some alcohol in it. Is 0.04%. A ripe pear. It's gram, not percent.
0.04克
All
的
right?
酒精，
So grams exist. Alcohol exists in all these things.
所以在这些果子里面都有这些酒精。
What we are talking about is drinking alcoholic beverages.
所以我们所说的是那些喝使人醺醉的酒。
What we are talking is about you want to turn food into alcoholic food and alcoholic beverage.
我们说你是要想把把食品变成一个酒瘾，
To want to taste all those things, feel all those things.
要
Then
感
that's
受
wrong.
到这个酒的这个效果，那是错的。
Okay, so yes, we are not dogmatic in the sense we are biblical. We are not cultish.
那我们不是固执己见，或者是像邪教一样。
Isn't total abstinence stumbling to unbelievers and other Christians who think we are extremists?
那是不是你才会认为我们是极端分子呢？
Christians are always known as extremists.
人家都认为基督徒都是极端分子。
We don't marry unbelievers.
我们不跟非信徒结婚，
We are called extremists.
我们也被称为极端分
But
子。
some Christians believe you can marry unbelievers.
那有些基督徒说你们可以跟
So to them, we are
非信徒
extremists.
结婚，所以我们就变成了极端分子。
We practice biblical separation against people who practice false doctrines. We are extremists.
人家说我们实践分别为圣，人家说我们是极端分子。
All right, we are extremists in many ways.
所以很多的方面我们都是极端分子。
Remember, belt of truth.
要记得什么是真理的腰带，
So it's not what people say, it's what God says.
所以不是人说什么是神
Now,
说。
if we are to stay away from wine, okay, finishing. Stay away from wine, then can we go to how, as explained in the notes?
那么我们要掩蔽 酒的话，
Because I say pa oinos,
像圣经说，我们要离开那些有酒的地方。
the word not, sorry. All right, the word not given to wine is pa oinos.
所以不好喝酒就是不要接近酒。
And we define pa oinos as not in proximity to wine.
我们说的这个词的意思就是不要接近酒，
All right.
一个一定范围。
So yes, my notes last week defined that.
所以这个讲义上个星期提到的，
But please look at your notes this week.
大家看第一天的讲义。
I want to make sure people understand. Turn to page 2.
第二页，
Page 2. 2.4.
2.4
C 2.4. C
下的
2.4.
2.4，
Now, not given to much wine,
不好喝酒。
right? You can see C 2.4 refers to not being found near different kinds of wine or abundance of wine, correct?
这里说不要接近不同种类的酒和大量的酒。
But this is not about someone who cannot walk past any wine or must cover his eyes when he sees wine.
所以这不是说每个人不能走路越过酒，或者是看见酒的时候要关眼，
It is about someone who accepts the drinking of alcoholic beverages.
而是指那些认可饮用含酒精饮料的人。
So it is not, from now onwards we can't go to Garden City because there are wine shops there.
不是说我们现在之后不能去 Garden City 那里有卖酒，
We cannot walk past any wine shop.
不能够走过任何的卖
If
酒的地
someone
方。
I'm eating dinner, someone comes in the restaurant next to me with a bottle of wine, I need to leave the restaurant.
如果人家在那个餐馆里面，人家拿酒的话，我就要离开那个餐馆，是吗？
It is not that kind of not found near wine, all right?
所以不是那一种的，不要接近酒。
It is about, the point is people who accept the drinking of alcoholic beverages. That's why they are around these things.
所以是那些认可可以喝酒的人，他们会接近这些地方。
All right, so what about so please clarify the notes.
连这里曾经讲义的所提到的，
So can we join people who are like company, team building, corporate function in pubs, taverns and licensed restaurants?
所以可不可以参加这个公司里面的这些聚餐，在酒吧、酒店里面主持的？
Par oinos does not mean you cannot be there. The main thing is you don't approve of drinking.
所以怕 witness 的意思不是不可以接近
So if a
地方，
company event,
而是不认可他们的做法。
if a company event, you need to be there. You can be there, but you don't drink.
如果是公司的这个聚餐，你需要在那里的话，你可以在那里，可是你不要喝酒。
If you can, don't go if you don't like to.
如果你不喜欢，你不要去也可以。
But I don't think it's wise for a Christian to go during happy hour
但是基督徒在他们欢乐时间去那些地方
to
吃，
eat dinner yourself there.
自己在那边吃晚餐，那是不理想。
All right. So the point is not about can I be there to eat.
所以问题不是可不可以在那些地方吃东西。
Many of our weddings are in hotels. They are licensed restaurants.
很多的这些婚礼都是在这个酒店，他们都是有执照卖酒的。
Can you have wine at home?
在家里面可以放酒吗？
What do you think? Susan, can? Can or not? Can you have wine at home?
家里可以摆酒吗？
Are you Fuzhou? Fuzhou. So can have wine at home? Miss Fuzhou?
福州人在家里放酒可以吗？
Depends what you use it. If you use it for cooking, we already established that kind of cooking is not what the Bible is talking about, right?
如果你是用来烹调的话，那一种不是圣经所提到的滴酒不沾。
But if you keep it at home to cook but also to drink, then of course not.
如果你放家里面是要烹调也要自己喝的话，那就不行。
Okay, this Fuzhou thing,
这个福州人的东西，
use the you know the calculation now.
所以现在你知道怎么算
Sunday they cook the Fuzhou
红烧
dish,
肉。
Hongzhou roll. And then say, Pastor can serve or not?
我们不是可以拿出来给人家吃
It's
吗？
already outside,
已经在外面了。
right? So, how much you put?
你放多少的红糟？
What? When you put?
几时放的红
How
糟？
you cook it?
怎么煮的？
How you make the drink and the lees?
怎么样做出来的酒糟？
You have to know,
所以你必须要知道。
right? So that's the only way I can answer you.
所以这是唯一的方式，我能够解释的。
Now, next one.
下一个，
Does total abstinence include abstaining from pubs? Or the answer, no. Not that you cannot go there and eat and buy food to eat.
所以不是说不能够到酒吧那里喝吃东西。
Now, if there are some testimony issues that are unique, yes, don't go.
如果是为了见证的问题，那你就不去。
Don't, wow, Pastor say can. From now onwards, I every day want to go pub, just pub, you know.
现在牧师说可以去酒吧，就每天上酒吧吃东西。
So, if you don't have to, don't have to.
如果你不需要去，就不
You
去。
can get nice fish and chips in many places.
你可以去其他地方吃这个炸鱼片。
Now, realistically, all right, so soldiers are answered already, right?
所以这个关于兵士的我已经回答。
But I want to say realistically.
但事实上，
Realistically, if a person cannot find a Christian boyfriend or girlfriend, realistically can marry unbelievers.
如果一个基督徒找不到信主的男朋友或女朋友，那怎么样？找非信徒结婚？
Realistically, if I don't have money, realistically, I should take a job that, even if it's sinful.
那事实上，我没有钱的话，或者是我要找一份得罪神的一份工作，
Right? So, realistically is not the presupposition.
所以这个事实上不是一个我们的前提。
Now, even if soldiers did it,
甚至士兵做的这些喝的酒，
whether it's realistic to them is unbiblical to me.
无论对他们来说实不实用，那对我来说是不合乎圣经的。
Okay? All questions answered.
回答所有问题了。
3 remarks and then we close.
3样。
Total abstinence is about drinking alcoholic beverages.
第9部章是指饮用含有酒精的饮
When it
料。
comes to food, medical use, please apply the principles.
谈到食品、药物，请应用学到的
You want to
原则。
drink your meishu?
你要
It's very high percentage of alcohol.
假面酒酒精成分很高的。
I know of a relative
我知道有一个亲戚，
always felt your meishu is good.
一直都认为养命酒是好的，
Drank for some time
喝
when
了
she
一
was
段时
younger.
间，年轻的时候喝的，
She had breast cancer.
现在有乳癌的，
There are many other effects of the alcohol.
很多这些酒精的效果。
Apply the principles. Now, when it comes to food, cooking, please apply the principles.
所以讲到食品、药物，用这些原则。
I said already, always start with presupposition that God forbids.
所以从神禁止喝酒的这个前提开始，
God condemns.
神禁
He condemns alcoholic drinks.
禁止我们喝有酒精的酒。
Anything that you don't understand, start from this. God say no and find the answer.
所以从那个前提，神禁止我们喝有酒精的酒那里开始。
You can't
找答
start
案
the other way around.
你不能够从其他的前提开始。
Don't say least all alcoholic. If you know it is, God says no, then it cannot be. Then you find the answer.
所以如果神说不能喝，那你就从那里开始找答案。
Always remember belt of truth,
记得真理的腰带，
breastplate of righteousness.
公义的护心镜，
Not what the world tells us,
不是世界的
not
原则
wine help health, wine keeps me warm, wine helps me forget trouble. Other famous Christians do it. I can't help it. That is not what we put on.
所以那些其他的这些概念都不是我们穿
We
上，
put on the belt of truth.
我们所穿戴上的是真理的腰
Proverbs
带。
23, 31 to 32.
箴言书23章31到32，
Ephesians 5:18.
还有以弗所书5章
All
18，
right, we exceeded 15 minutes.
超15
Sorry
分钟，
about that.
抱歉大家。
You can stay back and ask questions if you want to.
如果你有问题可以留下来问，
I hope this clarifies and build clear foundation.
希望这能够澄清并且给大家清楚的信念。
Let us pray.
那我们知道
话语词的。
Now, someone asked what is the difference between psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs.
有人说诗章、颂词、灵歌有什么不同？
Someone also asked, can we just have instrumental music?
有人说我们只要乐器的音乐就行就好，
Can
可以
we
吗？
worship God with instrumental music?
我们单单用乐器的音乐来敬拜神就好，可以吗？